Hello, today we have some great tips for you for the month of March. Well, the new growing season is upon us and there's plenty to do out in the gardens. One of the first things you might be looking for are the empty spaces in your gardens, in your flower beds and vegetable gardens. If you have winter annual weeds that have popped up, you can come in with a light cultivation and just dig those up, expose those roots to the air, and that usually keeps them under control. Now, we also have a lot of work to do and clean up in terms of perennials. Plants like liriope or monkey grass, you can see this one's got some damaged foliage on the older foliage. You can come in and actually mow that down, and if appropriate, to remove some of that older foliage. And you want to do that before new growth appears in the spring. Same thing with some of our other perennials. If you didn't cut them back in the fall, now would be a good time to cut those back, your ornamental grasses, and you want to do all of that before the spring new growth comes on in the spring. Now, for tree and shrub care, March is a good time to prune roses. Now, your landscape shrub roses typically don't need a lot of pruning, maybe a little bit of shaping, but your hybrid teas and the grandiflores, multiflores, those usually take a little bit more shaping and care, and that's usually done again about middle of March before the new growth comes on. If you have spring blooming trees and shrubs, if needed, you can prune those, but wait until after they have bloomed, because otherwise you're going to prune off all of those blossoms. Now, for insect control, we sometimes see galls, swellings that appear on twigs and stems of some landscape trees and shrubs. Those can be controlled chemically, or if they're not really bad, just clipping them out, removing them physically is probably one of the better ways to control those. Also, you may still have some insects hibernating, still hanging around in the crevices of bark and twigs, such as spider mites and aphids. And we can still use a dormant oil at this time of year to help control those. Now, spring is also a time when we start seeing some of those foliar diseases pop up, and some of the trees get anthracnose. It's very common. We also have some pine needle diseases, and one of the best ways to control those is to provide a protective cover with a fungicide that's applied at the time that the buds are beginning to swell and the leaves are just emerging. For our turf areas, we focus a little bit more on the cool season grasses at this time of year, but this is a great time to control some of the broadleaf winter weeds that are still existing in our cool season grasses with a post-emergence broadleaf herbicide. But this is also the time where we start focusing on controlling our summer annual weeds such as crabgrass. So we want to put down a pre-emergence herbicide at this time of year to help control those, and that can be actually applied to both our warm season and cool season grasses. Now, if you have an existing cool season grass and need to overseed it, or if you want to start a new cool season grass area, this would be the second best time of year to seed it. Now, fall is the best time, but March would be the second best time if you need to overseed or start some seed of cool season grasses.